Now we have our map showing up here and working. What I want to do is, so basically what our goal is when we like drag it around, we need to basically programmatically know our bounds of our map. And what that's going to do is that database we signed up for in the beginning, we're going to be able to do these geospatial queries based on the bounds of our map. But before we get there, we just want to render some markers on the map just to kind of to see it in use. So what I'm going to do is, well, first I just want to show you this. So if you go to your map view, and let me fix these spaces, driving me crazy. You do on region change complete. So this is a function. I think we just need to give it a callback. Let me just give this a try. Let me clear this so you guys can see. So if I take this, right, and the latitude and longitude are so small, so it's really hard to tell. But let's just drag this. And I get this event. That's what we just added the logging for, right here on line 11, right? So if you check this longitude, delta, latitude, delta, longitude, and latitude. So the delta is the amount we changed. But let's just look at the latitude, 40.77018, right? And latitude is a cross. So let me just try to drag. Sorry, it's really slow with the recording. See how this just changed? This is now 768. So these coordinates are what's going to allow us to query, like before we would query and say like if the user ID name is this. We're doing the same thing. It's just like a special Mongo ability to do this. And it's called a geospatial query. So first though, let's just plot a few of these markers on the map just to make sure that we're kind of getting the hang of it. So in our constructor, I'm going to make some markers. And then basically what's going to happen is once we do our query, these markers would come from the server, and that's how we're going to kind of change this. So I just want to check the documentation to make sure we're markers. By the way, if you look through here, there's like a ton of features. It's actually pretty impressive how much stuff they have in here. So they do a really good job. Custom markers, animatable markers, all this stuff. It's pretty... Okay, so for each marker, we need a lat long, which I believe is going to be an array. I'm trying to see if they have an example somewhere. Typically, these coordinate objects are, let me go to the top. They're usually like a lat long array. Like, see, latitude, latitude, longitude. Like, so this one value is going to be an object with lat and long. That's my guess. But and what I want to see is, do these markers go in the map view or not? Yeah, so we want to render these, we want to map these over the map view. So change this self-closing map view and add a closing tag here. map. And then we're going to say this dot state dot markers dot map. I'm going to loop through these. And for each one of these, we're going to return this marker object. And then, so look, on our marker here, on our objects we're creating, we need to give it a coordinate, a title, and a description. So let's do that now. And I don't know if we need these title and descriptions, but we definitely need this coordinate. And this is the one I was saying it's going to be a latitude, longitude pair. And these are going to be like pretty hard to just make up, the latitude, longitudes. So what we want to do is grab this one we were using before, just to see if we can get a marker showing up. Markers. And so this is our one marker we have in our array, and this is going to map through them and render a marker. And marker.lat long. I call this coordinate, so let me just do that. Let's see if this works. This is, oh, forgot my super. And let's import marker. Okay, so we have to separately import these. Which is one of those things that it kind of drives me a little crazy, but I can't really complain because this is a pretty good library. For some reason, it's just like this maps is like super slow with QuickTime, but I don't see our marker, so what? I just want to check this this.state.markers. Gonna console log that quick, make sure our coordinates coming through. I'm guessing the format is not. Give me a second, just scroll through these docs. Marker dot. Here we could do this. I feel that's probably not it. Oh, there we go. So we had our coordinates right, just a import error. So it's import map view is like the base component, and then you import subcomponents, same as we do here with React. So ignore what I was saying about the imports. And so let's get another place to map here just to try it out. So we have one marker here. I'm just going to call this WeWork 49th Street. And let's look up Taco Bell. Oh, we got to do Google Maps. All right, here we go. All right. So I'm going to click this one. Now let's check our lat long up here. They're giving us a range, which we don't want. So let me just get one. Let me get the address for this one. Let me get a more exact location. Let's do Penn Station. I think that was like the Google Places API. All right, so here, this should have a good lat long for us. See right here. All right, so I'm going to call this one just throw in some random title and description. All right, look, so now we got two. So our mapping is working, and this is like where these places are. So this is pretty neat. Now the thing we have to do is we have to get these places onto the server, so we're not just creating them on the fly like this. And we need to find out how we're going to query. So the first thing I want to do though is, before we get to that, is so we set up this kind of like draggable event here. We want to set the state and have access to that so we can use it for our query. So here, where is it? Oh, here where we were logging that before, I just want to show you. Instead of saying console log, we want to set state, and we're going to call it current coordinates. Or current view. This dot set state. And the one thing I'm wondering is, so before I had that delta, I'm wondering if that delta is the measurement of the screen or if that delta is just how much we move. So that's one thing we're going to have to figure out. So what I'm going to do actually though, this delta here, I'm going to increase this and it should zoom us out like a ton. Maybe that'll give us a kind of a better idea. So I'm going to change these both to 0.1 and just see what happens. See how we zoomed out here? So the delta is the actual like measurement on the map. So this here is going to give us the exact bounds. And again, I'm just going to show you what I did. So we had these initial deltas here. It's 0.09. And again, this is from the documentation. We just changed these. Give me a second. Perhaps it likes our longitude better than our latitude. So this is one thing we're going to have to figure out, like how exactly these two deltas measure. But the point is they have some sort of significance on the screen. Like if we change them, we can change what we see. So we're going to be able to use this what we're logging for our query. We just have to make sure that that delta format fits in with the way the query goes, because it might be more of a query based on bounds. So instead of 40, -73, and these are our deltas, it might be 40.7 to 40.79, like based on the addition or subtraction. So that's what we're going to have to work on in our next video. And for now, though, we have some sort of measurement saving here.